And we're going to meet a science fair participant from grade 9 in Summerside who's looking at what happens to not the fish when heavy rains hit our streams and rivers, but what happens to those tiny microscopic creatures that also share the waters. We'll check into that first. EI. But are fish the only creatures that suffer after heavy rains cause runoff from farm fields? That's the question a grade 9 student from Athena in Summerside was wondering. So Mohammed Naqvi decided to find out. He studied tiny water fleas as part of his science project. The CBC's Pat Martell dropped by this week's PEI Science Fair at the university to talk to Mohammed about his conclusions.
My name is Mohammed Naqvi. I'm from Athena Consolidated, and I am in grade 9. The name of my project is A Huge Impact Due to a Small Quantity. Now, the purpose of this project was to see how the potato fungicide affect the survival rate of daphnias. Now, you might be wondering, what is daphnia? Daphnia is basically a living species in freshwater, and they're from the Crustacean family. And they're known as the water flea due to the jerky hopping motion they do when they swim. Now, the reason I chose this experiment was the fungicide that went into the river in O'Leary killed thousands of fishes. So if thousands, yes. So if thousands of fishes died, I was guessing what happened to the other small species in the water, and no one really cared about it. So that's why I went further. Yes, I did. So I went into further detail to see what would happen.
And what exactly is it? Is it a little animal, or?
It's a little species that lives in fresh water, and it's great for experimental purposes. Fishes use it for food purposes.
So they eat it.
Yes.
And so you're just trying to find out how they were affected.
How they were affected. Because thousands of fishes eat this type of species, and it's important to know how these species are affected from potato fungicide.
And so how did you go about determining that?
In these containers, I added, it doesn't matter how much amount of water, as long as the amount of fungicide needed is in it. For example, 5% of the water is fungicide affected, and the rest, 95%, is just pure water. Over here, it would be 1% fungicide affected, 99% water, and so on.
Oh, and so you just wanted to see how much fungicide you put in each one, how that would affect?
Yeah, how that would affect. And apparently,
where did you get the fungicide?
My father got it from me from farmers, not specifically known where, but the fungicide I used was diethane.
Well, thanks very much.
No problem. Thank you very much.
That was Mohammed Naqvi, a grade 9 student from Athena Consolidated in Summerside, speaking to Pat Martell about his science fair project at this week's PEI Science Fair, which was held at UPEI.